I was listening to the words of a tantric teacher about the concept about not putting your rituals or your powerful experiences that you have with the gods online or sharing that with the public. And that when you do, you end up removing a lot of its energies. And here you have a paradox, right? You have a paradox as a spiritual teacher, as somebody who wants to instruct and share with others the nature of a spiritual path. And how do you dance that line? And I think every Seidr practitioner, every tantric practitioner, I think they have their own taboos, what they choose to do and what not to do. And I think it all depends on what your internal makeup is. And I think it relates a lot to this quote. And recently, when I was working on my book, I was thinking a lot about the power of the Havamal and how integral it is to rune and Seidr practice, and how grounding and important it is to adhere to all of its precepts, knowing that a lot of what these stanzas say can be really challenging for us in a modern day. But what they do is they keep us grounded into the physical. They allow us to be able to channel the energies of the runes, and and to be able to conjure spirits through Seidr, so that we don't lose ourselves. And really, here it is. It's a man is happy if he finds praise and friendship within himself. You can never be sure of where you stand in someone else's heart. And I think a lot of the reasons why we share our spiritual experiences, especially in community, I've noticed, and this was, for me, for the most part in my past, I shared a lot of my spiritual experiences because I wanted to figure them out. And one of the biggest challenges in the Rune Seidr community is that we don't have a lot of emotionally wise elders. We do have some, but not a lot. Not like you would have in tantric practices in India or Buddhist practices in Tibet and throughout the world. We are really missing a lot of grounded wisdom of elders in Rune Seidr practice. And I think because of that lack of leadership, because the practice of runes and Seidr is just, it's so new. A lot of us who are, 40s and up, we are the elders. And a lot of us had a lot of really bad leadership. We had a lot of people instruct us in very unhealthy ways. And let's face it, a lot of Rune Seidr communities are built on fleecing the public for money. And I understand, as if you're going to teach people, you need to create a price point where you can have a life and so you can live. And you also need to be able to have time to do your own practice. And I think one of the challenges I had, which is why I stopped teaching for a while, is that I needed to return back to my practice. I needed my practice to be for me. And so I think in all of these threads of understanding, we have people who are trying to revive these ancient practices, share them with the world, help create a community, and develop as a wise elder so that we can have a beautiful culture revive, much like you have the powerful magical cultures of, um, of Tibet and India. And all that takes time and practice and devotion of many gurus and many sages working diligently on their own internal practices, connecting with their gods. And I think that is something that those of us in the Rune and Seidr community, we can learn from. I think that heathens can learn from some of these ancient practices that are much more established than us. And, unfortunately, when Christianity came through Europe and destroyed our temples and burned our Seidr Konas and Voldvas and Seidr Mothers, they destroyed a lot of our connection to our gods. And so I can see how the people, we are reconnecting. We are making these connections again. But in that connection, there's a lot of trauma that needs to be processed, a lot of ancestral healing. And so I just wanted to put this out there that, like, if you're a teacher, if you're a Seidr and Rune practitioner, wherever you are at in the scale of things, however you're helping others learn runes, learn Seidr, learn Germanic practices, I think it's important to remember that ultimately you have to become solid in who you are, in what your practice is for you. So you aren't dependent on anyone else helping you determine your own path. You have to be solid in knowing who you are and what your path is. And because that's the only way you can help other people find their own path through the darkness. Because we are literally all walking through this darkened forest that are with monsters and filled with energies that are very, very challenging sometimes to handle. And I think it's easy to want to make a mark in the community and want to have a connection with the heathen community and be established as an authority figure. But also forget that these energies yearn to be embraced by everybody, not just a central priest or priestess or a vulva or Seidr mother. That actually these energies, the gods and the spirits and the runes, yearn to be embraced by all the people, by all of the people of Germanic ancestry. And we're doing this communally. We're not alone. We are a tribe of people. And I just wanted to share encouragement to the community. And I know that for me, the gods have called me for a long time to kind of go outside of heathenry, to learn some of the wisdom from older traditions so I can bring it back to heathenry, bring some of that wisdom. And so I do. I feel as if the practice of Tantra with Kalima and Bhairava in India and the Vajrayogini practice of Buddhism, I feel like those are very similar to the challenges and the practice of runes and Seidr, and they, both of the wisdom from those systems have helped me understand how to handle the energies that runes and Seidr come about. But that is my own path. Regardless, I wouldn't recommend that for anybody else. You have to kind of listen to what the gods tell you and where they take you to, because they're taking you on a journey, because each one of us are a piece of the puzzle. So I just would like to share that today and to wish all of you luck and to let all of you know, no matter where you are in your stage of growth, you are important and you are needed. Very much so.